Hello children, how are you? I hope everyone are safe in the home. From the last week, teachers started explaining through this YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn the computer science. Before we could start the lesson, we are going to pray. Almighty Father in heaven, thank you for this wonderful day that was given us. Thank you for being with us as the children are going to learn the lesson. Give them the wisdom and knowledge so that they can learn in an easy way, Lord. Be with them and guide them. With a few blessings, we ask in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. First lesson topic is revising basic Java concept. Okay, before we could start the lesson, I want you to take the notes. Each and every slide you can take notes. Okay, you can refer the last year ICSE book also. Things to recall: introduction to Java, concept of object and classes, values and data types, operators, mathematical library methods or mathematical functions. Okay, we're going to just recall all these things: what is Java, what is object, and what is class. And if you know the answer for these three questions, what is Java, what is object, what is class, please pause the video and write the answers in the note. Now we are moving into the next slide. It is the introduction of Java. Java is a popular object-oriented programming language, and it was developed by James Gosling and Patrick Norton for Sun Microsystems in the year of 1991. Okay, and it was later acquired by Oracle corporations, and it is used to build secure and powerful applications that run across multiple operating systems. So it's used to create or used to build secure and powerful applications. I want you to write in the note. So it is used to build secure and powerful applications. In this slide I have underlined a few lines. Please write those things in your notes. Okay, and now we are moving into the next slide. The next topic, it is object oriented programming. The object oriented programming paradigm views a problem in terms of classes and objects. Okay, as you all know, Java is an object oriented programming language. It has classes and objects. First let's see what is object and what is class. You all know what is object. I think if you have written the answer, you just read the answer with me. What is an object? An object is an entity with a specific identity and having a specific characteristics and specific behavior. And second one, it is a class. A class is a blueprint. It represents a set of objects that share common characteristics and behavior. Okay, in the last year I explained with the example of car, which means which comes under vehicles. Vehicle is a class and a car is an object. Car has some specific characteristics. We have different types of cars, for example BMW car and Benz and Honda. There are different types of car companies are there. They have a common characteristics. Okay, they have a common characteristics and common behavior. Okay, which means car is an object and class means a set of objects that share common characteristics. Okay, so now you understood what is class and what is object. Okay, now once again I am just reading what is an object and what is class. Object, an object is an entity with specific identity and having specific characteristics and specific behavior. Class, a class is a blueprint, represent a set of objects that share common characteristics and behavior. Okay, now we are moving into the next slide. The next slide, it is tells about general object oriented programming concept. Okay, it is a concepts of general object oriented programming. Okay, first one, it is a data abstraction. before we could learn all these things, what are the topics, the subtopics we are going to learn under this topic? Okay, it is first one, it is data abstraction. Second one, it is encapsulation. Third one, it is modularity. And fourth one, it is inheritance. And fifth one, it is polymorphism. Data abstraction, it refers to the act of representing essential features without including the background details or explanation. Okay, without including the background details or explanations. Do you remember the example which I have explained to you? It is switch boxes. There are different wires, different connected with the different switches. Okay, for example, in your home, if you take the lights, fans are connected to the switch box. Do you know how the direction, which direction the wires are connected? Okay, but even though it works, which means the abstraction hides the internal details and describes the things in a simple terms. When you just on the switch, when you turn on the switch, immediately the light or fan, it will be working. Am I right? So abstraction, it hides the internal details and describes things in a simple terms. Okay, now we are moving into the next slide. The next slide, it is encapsulation. Okay, do you remember what is an encapsulation? The encapsulation is a way to implement data abstractions. Okay, you remember there's a definition. I'm reading the definition. The wrapping up of data and functions into a single unit is known as a encapsulation. Okay, the encapsulation hides the details of the implementation of an object. Okay, basically data abstraction and encapsulations both comes in a same. Okay, it hides the details of the implementation of a object. Okay, shall we move to the next topic? It is third topic. It is a modularity. Okay, the act of partitioning a program into individual components is called modularity. So it is an individual component. So each and every component, so we have taken the example of switch boxes. Okay, it will be connected very correctly. If there is some mistakes in the connections, it doesn't work, the whole system will be spoiled. That's what the modularity. Okay, the modularity is the property of a system that has been decomposed into a set of cohesive and loosely coupled modules. Okay, the next topic, it is inheritance. Inheritance is the capability of one class of things to inherit or derive capabilities or properties from another class. Okay, it inherits from one class to another class. Okay, for example, it is a base class to super class, subclass or derived class. Here we have seen an example of a car and vehicle. Okay, car, it comes under automobiles. Am I right? Automobiles class is a base class. Okay, and car is a class. Okay, you understand? Automobile is a base class and car is a class. Okay, do you know what is a class? You want me to explain again? Class is a blueprint of representing a set of objects that share common characteristics and behavior. Okay, the next topic, it is a polymorphism. Polymorphism is a property by which the same message can be sent to the objects of several different classes, and each object can respond in a different way depending on its class. For example, we have addition calculation. Okay, 5 plus 7, it is answer is 12. If you are going to add a plus b, what will be the result? You write a b. Am I right? But when you add 5 and 7, you are supposed to write 5 and 7, which means 57. Why you are just adding and you are writing? This is what, okay. Polymorphism, it's a property which the same message can be sent to the object in a several different classes. There are two classes. One is a number we have added, and second one it is a we have added the alphabets, okay. We call it as a characters, okay. Fine. So I hope you understood all the 5 topics. Once again, I am just recalling the 5 topics. It's a object oriented programming concept: data abstraction, encapsulation, modularity, and inheritance, and polymorphism. Our next topic is beginning with Java. Java is a both programming language and a platform, okay. Platform refers to the some combination of hardware and system software. For example, some of the operating systems in Windows, okay, and Linux, okay. Java platform is a software platform that can deliver and run highly interactive and dynamic and secure applications to the network computer systems, okay. Now how does the Java solves the problem? With the platform independent by using a bytecode, okay. How does the bytecode is interrupted? It is interrupted by a special interrupter is known as a Java virtual machine, okay. We call it as a JVM. If you want to know more on JVM, you can refer the 9th standard book, okay. Now we are moving to the next topic. It's a simple Java program has a following concepts or its parts, okay. There are 4 parts there. The first one, it is comments, class or classes, method, main, okay. Main method, okay. You have used the main. Do you remember the method? Now the fourth one, it is a code statement. The code statement, it is nothing, it is inside the curly braces we used to write the coding. This is what, okay. Once again, I am just saying the commands, class, main, and code statement, okay. What is comment? In the next image, I am just going to show how does the comment. When you see the comment line, okay, I am going to ask the question. If you know the answer, you write it in the note, okay. The question is, during execution of the program, will the command line executed? If it is a no, need a explanation, okay. There is an answer in the 9th standard book. If you want, you can check, okay. And now I'm going to tell the answer. During execution of program, whatever you type, whatever you write in between the command line, can you just say the command line? It is program hello world.java. Can you see the command line? It is a backslash and asterisk and asterisk backslash. Within this, whatever you write, it will not be executed. This is what the command line, okay. And the second one, it is a class. Can you just tell me where is a class? The class name is class hello world, okay. The class name is class hello world. Hello world is a class name. Class containing the main, okay. It is a initial class. Now we are moving to the next. It is a method main. What is a method main? It is a void main they have used, okay. It is a execution begins from the main method. Here only the execution starts, okay. And we'll come to the next line inside the curly braces, system.out.println. Inside the parenthesis in double quotation we have a hello world, okay, which executes the word hello world, okay. Are you all with me? Now it is a statement of output. Now the next topic, it is a Java fundamentals, okay. A Java program is made up of many things such as keywords, literals, expressions, statements, and values and variables, constants, okay. These are the topics we are going to learn now, okay. In a very short we are going to learn, okay. The first one, it is a character set. Okay, Java uses the Unicode character set. Do you remember the code which computer uses? Do you know the answer? What the machine language, which means what the computer machine understand what we speak. Suppose if you are going to type A, how does the computer take the letter A? It uses 2 byte, okay, 2 byte character code. Okay, they uses zeros and ones. It is called bits. 0 and 1, it is a bits. Okay, we are moving to the next one. It is a keywords. Okay, keywords are the words, and we had a other name for the keywords. Okay, it is a reserved words. Okay, there are a lot of examples we have seen in the last year. We have learned in the last year. Few keywords I am just telling. Okay, I want you to write 10 keywords from the last year book. Okay, I am telling a 5. With this 5 you have to add another 10 and you have to write. Okay, if, break, case, public, boolean, these are the keywords. Okay, I want you to write 10 more keywords. The next one, it is values. In a Java programming we need values, different types of data values. Okay, we are going to learn the data types and we are going to learn the values. Okay, and now we are going to learn data types first, and then we are going to learn about literals and identifiers and variables and constants. Okay, now we are going to learn about data types. Okay, there are 2 different data types. Okay, one is a primitive type and second one is a reference type. Okay, in primitive data type we have a numeric and non-numeric. In numeric we have a integer, floating point and character. Okay, in integer, all the integer numbers. Okay, it is byte, short integer and long integer. Okay, each and everything which has a different storage part, and floating point, float double, which stores decimal numbers, characters, which stores in alphabets. Okay, do you understand? It is a numeric. Numeric we have a 3 different things. Okay, one is the integer and floating point and character. Okay, integer means the numbers, the whole numbers. Floating or double means it's a decimal values, and third one, it is a character, it is a alphabets. The boolean, it represent a single value, either true or false. The boolean value can be either true or false. Okay, and the next topic we are going to learn, it is a reference types. Okay, the reference types, it is called arrays, classes and interfaces are called references types. Okay, we will be learning in the next lessons. The next topics we are going to learn, it is literals, identifiers and variables and constants. The first one, it is literals. Do you know the answer? What is literals? Can you tell me what is the other name for literals? If you know the answer, pause the video and write the answer. I am continuing. Okay, so the answer is it is referred to the constant values. Okay, it is a fixed data values. There are different types of literals are there: integer literals and floating point and boolean literals and character and string, the null literal. There are different types of literals are available. Okay, now we are going to see one by one. Integer, okay, the whole numbers can be written in a decimal form, starts with a non-zero number. Okay, for example, we can take number 5. Okay, and it is a octal form. It starts with the 0, 1, 2, and the next one, it is a hexadecimal. In the last year we have learned, do you remember? Decimal, octal and hexadecimal. Now the next one, it is a floating point literals. The floating point literals are numbers which has a fractional, which means a decimal numbers. Okay, having decimal points. For example, 0.56, like that, okay, which is called a fractional form or in a exponent form. Then the boolean returns. Boolean already we have learned in the data types, okay. It's a true or false, okay. Either it gives only one answer, either it is true means it just show the true, or else it shows the false. And next one is a character, single character, which means a single letter. Escape sequence, okay. The for example, if you are going to type \n, which means which it takes you to the new line. Likewise, single character, which is known as a character literals, and string literals. String means it is a one or more characters enclosed, which means two or like a b c, it has a string, okay. A b c continuously. For example, if it is a name aim, it is a string. If it is an individual a means it is a character. Next topic we are going to learn it is identifiers. There are four rules the identifier has, okay. Identifiers can have alphabets or digits or underscore or some special characters, okay, and they must not be a keyword. It should not be a keyword. I think you have written 15 keywords, okay. It should not be the keywords. For example, if, public, private, this should not be there, okay. And boolean, literal or null literal, they must not begin with the digit. It's also so it must begin with the alphabet, okay. Java is a case sensitive. Uppercase letters and lowercase letters are treated differently. Do you know what is an uppercase and what is a lowercase? Yes, it is uppercase means it's a capital letters and lowercase means it's a small letters, okay. So whatever you just type, it is accept in the same, okay. If I going to use capital letters, whatever the command it's given for the particular identifier or particular keyword, it just takes as a same, okay. And now the next one, it is a variable. A variable is a named memory location. It's a named memory location. I want you to take the page number 6, which I have forwarded in the group, okay. And in the last, the topic variable type and variable name. What is a type? Okay, the particular data type. For example, we have a different data types, say integer, character and long, short, okay, data type and variable name. In the next page we have mentioned with the example, okay. It's a double salary and integer month. Integer and double, it is a data type, and salary, it is what? Can you tell me what is that? It is variable name. So data type and variable name. Now the next one, it is a constant. Constant is a value represent named value that remains fixed throughout the entire program. The value does not change. That's what constant, okay. The constant is declared when we use the keyword final. There is another keyword we are going to learn, it is a final, okay. When we use the keyword final with a declaration similar to a variable, creates name constant, okay. Now you can say in the page number 7, final double tax rate is equal to 0.25, which means you can able to use the tax rate, okay, value in the program. It must be a 0.25. That's it. The value cannot be changed. Now the next topic, it is operators in Java. As you all know, operators, okay. There are a lot of operators we are going to learn, okay. Let us learn first the operators in different ways, okay. First one, it is a arithmetic operator, and second one, it is an increment and decrement operator. Third one, it is a relational operator, and fourth one, it is a logical operator, shift operator, bitwise operator, assignment operator, and conditional operator, Java shorthand operator, okay. With the example we are going to learn. Okay, I want you to take the last year book, okay, so that we have learned in detail about operators, okay, arithmetic operators. These are plus symbol, minus symbol, asterisk symbol, and divide and modulus, which means percentage. Do you remember what is modulus? Can you just answer what the modulus do? What is the work of modulus? Plus symbol for addition, minus symbol for subtraction, asterisk symbol for multiplication, backslash for division, and it's a percentage symbol for remainder calculation. Okay, so it just takes a remainder value. And the next operator is the increment operator. Increment and decrement. Increment, it is plus plus, decrement, it is minus minus. There are, it works in a two way. One is a prefix and postfix, okay, which means plus plus a and a plus plus. Prefix form means plus plus a, and postfix means it is a plus plus. When you use to prefix form, for example, integer, I'm giving the value. If it is a s equal to 5, okay, and a value is 10, s value is 5 and a value is 10. So now we are going to calculate, we are going to add, okay, with the help of increment operator. S is equal to s plus plus a. I want you to take the page 9. Okay, there is an example which is given. Can you tell me what is the answer? Those who are listening, if you are not going to take the books, s value is 5, a value is 10. Now here is the calculation part. S is equal to s plus a. It stores 16 because it is a prefix form, plus a, which means it adds 1. So s value is 5 plus 11, so answer is 16. Okay, now the next one, it is the same thing if it is a postfix. Okay, if it is a postfix form means a plus plus, so s plus a plus plus. So once in the beginning, okay, it doesn't add 1 because it is a postfix increment, so it just add, answer will be only 15. Okay, the next topic, it is a relational operator. Relational operators, it's a equal symbol and lesser than or greater than symbol, two variables or literals. Okay, it is a comparison of operators or compare the values in a two variables. Okay, I want to ask a question. What symbol do you use for equal to? Is a one equal symbol or two equal symbol? If it is a 2, it's a correct. Okay, now we are moving to the next operator. It is a logical operator. Logical operator are and, or, and not. Okay, these are the operators used to combine two or more relational, okay, expressions to make a complex expressions for decision making. Okay, for example, if it is a and, multiplication. Okay, if it is a or, it is a addition. Not means it's a boolean, either true or false. Next one, it is a shift operator. A shift operator performs a bit manipulation on a data by shifting the bits of its first operand right or left. So it just shift. What actually will do, it just shift to the right side or the left side. Now we are going to learn about the bitwise operators. The bitwise operators work on individual bits of operands and perform bit by bit operations. Okay, we will be learning this with the example once the school reopen. Okay, now we are moving to the next one. It is a assignment operator. The assignment. Okay, what comes in your mind? Assign. Assign means equal symbol. The next topic, it is a conditional. If condition, there is a method we used in the last year. Okay, conditional operator. Can you just tell me what are the two symbols used for conditional operator? If you know the answer, you write it. I'm telling the answer now. Conditional operator. Okay, the symbol, it is question mark and colon. The next operator, it is a Java shorthand operator. Do you remember how to write Java shorthand method? I'm just telling the question. Can you write the Java shorthand method? A is equal to A plus 5. It can be written as A plus is equal to 10. Okay, I hope everyone understood the topics. If you have any doubt, you can feel free to ask. We have come to an end of a lesson. I hope everyone have taken the notes. I'll be checking all of your notes when the school reopens. Okay, thank you all. Have a good day.